Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be talking about how to study for your Step 1 exam and how you can quite easily pass your Step 1 in 2026. My name is Mirzoyan. I'm a fourth year medical student and I'm currently applying for residencies, and I'm slowly going to be matching into my residency soon. So before all that happens, I want to make as many videos as I can so you guys can pass your Step 1 exam. I made a Step 2 exam in the past. It was my first video on this channel, and I'll link it down below, so anyone that needs to be studying for Step 2, you can just click on it and get all the sources you need. But in this video, we're going to be talking about Step 1. Step 1 is a pass or fail exam. It's not scored. I think that if you have just a couple of sources and you know what to study, you'll be okay for this exam. The first source that we're going to be talking about is First Aid combined with Boards and Beyond with Dr. Ryan. Now, First Aid is the book that pretty much every medical student has when they're studying for Step 1. I'll link an Amazon link where you can find this book. First Aid basically includes everything that you need to know about Step 1. Additionally, you have this source called Boards and Beyond, where there's a doctor on there named Dr. Ryan. Talks about certain lectures pertaining to Step 1. The lectures that he has, they actually coincide with the pages in First Aid. The way I did it is I watched a Dr. Ryan lecture, and while I was watching the lecture, look at the pages on your First Aid, annotate your First Aid as you're watching Dr. Ryan. He makes this very easy to understand. Also adds information to First Aid as well, so you can always go back to your First Aid book and really reference it when you're doing questions or if you really need to remember things. And this is a book that I always went back to. Even during my Step 2 prep, I still use my Step 1 First Aid book, just because of how comprehensive it is and how much more details Dr. Ryan adds in his Boards and Beyond series. So please check him out. I'll link him down below. The next source is Microbiology. Now, microbiology is heavily tested on this exam, and there's two sources that you could use. The first one is Sketchy. I'm pretty certain that most students are familiar with Sketchy. I didn't use Sketchy. I used this thing called Physeo. Now, Physeo is a YouTube channel where they talk about viruses, bacteria, parasites, fungi, and I'll link Physio's YouTube channel below where you can go and check the microbiology section. The way I did it is I watched around 3 to 5 bugs a day. So for example, I would watch a video on like Staph aureus, C. diff, H. pylori, and then maybe like 2 more. I take notes on it and I just keep it in the back of my mind and I refer to it throughout the year. You can do the same thing for Sketchy. Now, Sketchy is a little longer than Physeo. Physio's videos are anywhere from about like 5 to 15 minutes. Sketchy can be a little longer, but Sketchy also has Anki cards that you can follow up with. I don't really use Anki, so I think Physeo is perfect for me. If you also don't like using Anki, you may like Physeo more than you like Sketchy, but you could choose either, and I think both will get you all the microbiology base that you need. Next source, I'm sure you've seen this everywhere, is Pathoma. Pathoma it's a fantastic resource for pathology. Now, pathology is also heavily tested on Step 1. With the Pathoma, you want to make sure that you get the book and watch his videos online. I'll link where you can find the videos, and I'll link the book below. The next source is Uworld and Amboss. Now, I did 1 full pass of Uworld and Amboss, and I really feel like that was enough to get a passing grade on this exam. You can get away with 1 pass on Uworld. You don't need to do 2 passes, contingent with the fact that you're doing Amboss. Now, if you decide to ditch Amboss, I would recommend 2 passes of Uworld. But again, the questions are very diverse and very comprehensive, where I feel like having both question banks and having a variety is just going to help you out that much more. So I would personally do both. Anytime that you're studying for your classes, you can supplement it with Uworld. That's what I would do. And similar to Step 2, I would create separate Google documents where I would write down any information that was new to me. Any information that's new, you could also create Anki cards for and go back to it throughout the year. There's also that 200 concepts that are tested on every Step 1 exam, similar to Step 2. This also exists for Step 1, and I feel like it was really helpful, and you should definitely check out those concepts as well. You want to do the 200 concepts maybe around a week before your exam, because I think honestly, from the 200 concepts, 20 to 30 of them were very similar on their exam. The next source is Biostats and quality improvement or quality of healthcare. In the prior video on Step 2, I talked about how important Biostats and quality care is, in this exam, and honestly it's the same for step 1, especially for biostats. They really love testing biostats on step 1. Safety and improvement, quality care, that's just something that's just going to be tested more and more as the years progress. So I have a Google link down in the description where you can view my doc talk about biostats and quality care. It's around like 50 pages. It should be a pretty easy read, so please check that out. The next source I want to talk about is Mehlman Medical. I talked about Mehlman Medical before in the past. I think he's actually better for step 1 than he is for step 2. The way that I would use Mehlman is throughout the year when you're doing your Uworld questions, your Amboss questions, or even just lectures at school for didactics, you can always supplement it with Mehlman. Mehlman's high-yield PDFs are very helpful. So if there's a class that's difficult, for example, cardiology, you can go and look at Mehlman's PDF and pick up a lot of things. And if there's certain topics that you think you're weak on, his PDFs will really help you. Specifically, his biochemistry and his microbiology and pharmacy PDFs and online YouTube videos are very helpful for step 1, because step 1 highly stresses these concepts. Mehlman makes a lot of videos, and I think he has a lot of playlists on his YouTube channel that you can go and check back. And I made it a habit of watching around like 5 videos a day, and it honestly goes by pretty fast, especially if you put it on 2 times speed, and you do learn a lot in just one video. So if you make it like a consistent habit, I think you'll learn a lot more step 1 knowledge just by using Mehlman. The last source is NBMEs and free 120s. So similar to the step 2 exam, there's a lot of NBME exams and there's 2 free 120 exams. Now the NBME exams you can find on their website, or you can maybe try to find it through sources online, but you want to do NBMEs 26 to 33. Now I don't think I had up till 33 when I took my step. I'm saying it like I'm so old, like back in my day. I literally took it like 2 years ago. I think 32 and 33 are new, but you want to make sure that you do NBMEs 26 to 33 to all of them, because they're the most representative of the actual exam. And you want to make sure that you do these around like 2 to 3 weeks before your exam. So the way I would do it is I would do like NBME 26 and review the questions, take a little bit of a break, then do NBME 27, review, break, and keep doing that until NBME 33. It should be all done 2 to 3 weeks before your exam. For the free 120s, there is an old free 120 and there is a new free 120. I would highly suggest doing both. And from what I remember, the tests were the most similar to the free 120s, specifically for step 1. That's pretty much everything for step 1. I think it's a lot more clear cut than step 2. If you watched my step 2 video, you probably heard me rambling a lot more, but in this video, we're gonna keep it a lot more clean, a lot more concise. I honestly don't think I would add much more to pass this exam. I wish you all the best of luck, and I know that you guys will do absolutely fantastic. And if you do have any questions, please comment them down below. I read all your comments and I'll get back to every single one of them. Good luck with your endeavors, and this is just one test that you need to pass. And I know that there's step 2 coming along after you do step 1. Don't even worry about step 2. Put all your focus into step 1, and then you move on to step 2, and things will get a lot easier after that. So congratulations for taking this big step, and I wish you the best of luck.